So for the law students and the young lawyers out there, my advice to you is find your own voice. Find a way to express yourself with unique words and style. Do not try to imitate somebody. Do not try to be somebody else. You've got to speak yourself, and that's the way that you will be authentic and effective.
The next one.
Mine is RTFS, read the statute. That helps with everything. So.
As a young lawyer or law student, don't be afraid to tell the person with a lower bar number than you that you know just as much as they do, and don't be intimidated when they tell you, hey, I've done this for 30 years. Be yourself and practice law the way you see fit.
Hi, I'm John Ashford. I'm a city prosecutor for the city of Omaha. One of my pieces of advice is if you're in law school and you're not calling every class, you're not a gunner, you're not at maybe the top firm, the top internship, don't worry. I've been practicing for 15 years. All those kids who were gunning and calling 15 years ago, they're all not even practicing law anymore. They're all burnt out. So find something you love. Find something you enjoy when you wake up for work every day. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Quick, go do something else.
Two pieces of advice I would give is probably to say for a law clerk, if you're applying for clerkships throughout first or second year, don't worry about what firm you're at. The key is to get different experiences to make sure that you're exposed to a whole bunch of different pieces of information, different ways of practicing law so you can be a better lawyer in the future. Second one is probably along the same lines but more in classroom work. Don't decide what kind of lawyer you're going to be the first year. I would say to take as many classes that are in different fields as you can to make sure that you, again, have a diverse experience and you may find something you don't know you like already.
All right, advice for law students, make sure that you are getting enough sleep. You're gonna be busy studying and trying to figure out everything, but at the end of the day, you've gotta give your body rest in order for you to do well the next day.
When you're in a jury trial, talk like a human, don't talk like a lawyer.
Get to know the judges
And their bailiffs.
Always try to be on time, always be reasonable, be firm when you have to.
Okay, the best advice that I was given is when you're a younger associate, you should take all the time that you need reading through a new document because your rate is built into the amount of time that the partner of the law firm thinks that you're going to take. So the more time you take on something, the better off you're going to be learning the document, asking questions. So don't be afraid to take as much time as you want.
Make sure you hang out with non-lawyers.
Our advice would be don't worry too much about the bar exam.
Take your time, go introduce yourselves to the members of the county court clerk's office. They have all the forms, they can show you what you need to do to file stuff. If something's missing, they can call you up and help you out.
And the summer before your third year and throughout your third year, get senior certified and be in court as much and as often as possible.
Track your career, but know that it's going to change.
Also, cry in your car like a grown-up.
Our advice to new lawyers is when you get a new case, if you don't know opposing counsel, to give them a call when you get the case and introduce yourself, find out about them, introduce yourself to that new lawyer as a person first before you start into discussing the facts about the case to get off on the right foot.
So we're asking, you want novel legal advice or advice to young lawyers?
Not legal advice.
All right, two things. The first one I didn't think you guys would let me say, but I said that there's no such thing as a point one. So any task you do, and I'm not trying to like inflate my billing or anything, but like any task you, but any task you do should involve at least 6 minutes of time. There's no, or more than 6 minutes of time. You know, even if you're answering a call, you probably should write something in your file. If you're gonna call someone, maybe look at an email or two beforehand. So no matter what, there should be at least 7 minutes of time built into that. And number two is if people are calling you, answer the phone. That's a big one. Yeah. And that's kind of the extent of what I got.
There's no substitute for hard work.
Wow.
As my dad always said.
Okay. Thank you, Tom Osborne. Appreciate it.
Manage expectations.
Have grace with opposing counsel, parties, and witnesses.
Go to bed before 10 p.m.
If you're starting with research, start in the annotations of the statute. All the cases are there that have ever cited the statute, and you do not have to research anything.
My advice is that if you focus on yourself first, that's how you succeed, because how else are you supposed to do well if you don't look at yourself first?
As you're thinking about where you're going to start your career,
Look at the people that are 10 years ahead of you and 20 years ahead of you and decide if that's what you want to be in 10 years and 20 years. And if the answer is no, continue to look.
What's that even mean?
I have no clue what that means. If you want to do litigation, do an externship or some other type of work that the university allows that gets you into a courtroom so you can observe, because you can't learn that in a classroom.
Yourself into a particular area of practice. You always have an opportunity to look for other things and try something new. Like Aaron said, 10, 20 years down the line, if you want to try something different, give it a shot early. If you don't like it, keep moving on.
You always get 10 more days on an appeal than what they tell you due to the show cause.
And when it comes to selling your point on court, when you get what you want, shut up. Stop selling.
Develop good habits for timely time entry and invoicing as earlier in your career as possible.
You absolutely have to introduce yourself. When you go into court, you have to introduce yourself to the bailiff, to the judge. They don't know who you are, so you absolutely have to introduce yourself, and that will take you so much farther than just walking in and thinking that you know what you're doing, because you probably don't.
Good advice.